Well, let's get the view from the other side of the scarlet and gray septic tank with maybe the one and only reasonable Ohio State bucknut, our good friend Mark Rogers, who himself has a fantastic college football channel here on YouTube, the voice of college football. Good to see you again, brother. How are you?
Great to see you, Steve. This football season, it's an intriguing one, especially in the Big Ten East.
Mark, I don't know if you saw this stat. I tweeted it out yesterday, but there have already been more ranked teams that have lost in the first 4 weeks of the AP poll than in the history of the AP poll, and it goes back to 1936. So this is the most ranked teams we've ever seen lose in the first 4 weeks of the season. Your thoughts on that?
I think it has to do with the experience of these mid-level teams with all the super seniors coming back. I think that has a lot to do with it. We talked about defensive football being more in vogue with a full year of spring practice, summer camp, individual workouts throughout the year that we did not have in 2020. And this has been the result. And with all those upsets, we are razor close to having another handful or so of favorites who survived.
You've got the transfer portal as well, so you have a program like a Clemson. They literally don't have another quarterback to go to if they wanted to. They literally don't, and so we're going to see more and more of this, Mark. You're just, particularly in this NIL era where Graham Mertz makes money. I mean, he's terrible. He makes money on T-shirts. Spencer Rattler's got national deals, and his fan base on primetime TV is cheering for his backup. Guys just are not going to sit there and wait 2 or 3 years for their turn anymore. We're going to see a lot more of this. I think that's one of the reasons why there's such a quick hook with the shoulder injury for C.J. Stroud in Columbus, because if you're Ryan Day and you start struggling, those other guys behind him are like, dude, if I'm not going to play here, I'm out of here. I'm Kyle McCord. I'm not waiting a year. I'm gone. And so I think we're going to see actually a lot more of this going forward. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. I thought that we carried on that conversation a number of times, and it was speculation at the time, but it was reasonable thinking that how is this NIL situation going to affect college football teams? Well, it's going to take that guy that was willing to stick out a situation at an Ohio State, for example, and obviously now looking at the opportunity elsewhere at a mid-level school in another conference or the same conference and see that opportunity to play, because you don't make money if you don't play. So the NIL opportunities are going to players that actually start and play. Therefore, why sit, go somewhere else and play, make money?
Let's talk about Michigan. So first and foremost, are you in the camp that says, hey, they've played one bad half after 14 consecutive good ones? Don't overthink it. Probably was a letdown with Wisconsin on deck and just couldn't, after they kind of let down, just, it happens. Or are you of the mind that says what happened here is Rutgers finally figured out, why don't we put 75 guys in the box? And it doesn't matter how many pros Michigan has on their offensive line. 5 guys can't block 11. Okay, so, and we're just going to dare Michigan to throw in to beat us. And it turns out that when a team does that, particularly one with a pulse, albeit it's still Rutgers, they can't. So which of those two camps are you in after that game against the Scarlet Knights?
So
or that half against them, I should say.
Yeah, well, I tend to be in neither extreme camp of, okay, sound the alarms, Michigan's awful, they'll never be able to run the ball against anyone ever again. And then on the other end of the spectrum, they'll be fine. They figure it out. They just do whatever they need to do on that particular week. There are real issues with Michigan football, and I think it comes with we saw 2 halves of football that were basically they could have switched uniforms, and we would have thought it was the same game from half to half. Michigan dominated but was unable to pull away completely in the first half. Rutgers dominated the second half, but Michigan's fortunate that Rutgers does not have an explosive offense. That's what it comes down to, because if they had any playmakers and the quarterback to be able to create explosive plays, Michigan would have lost that game. What I see there is that basically, Cade McNamara made a comment after the game that I thought was completely ridiculous. I don't know. He was basically trying to answer why the offense was stagnant in the second half, and he said, quote, "We were lacking momentum." Then he jumbled around with a few other things. Then he basically said it was a lack of momentum. I don't even know what that means. We were lacking momentum on offense. Basically, the reason you don't move the ball on offense is either you don't have enough talent, you're not executing, or the play calling's bad. What I think happened to Michigan is basically they ran the same running play over and over and over and over in the middle and to the left side. They love the left side in the first half with different window dressing and backs in different spots and different motion, but the same blocking scheme and same play in the first half. So Rutgers adjusted at halftime. Greg Schiano does what a good coach does, and he adjusted to that. They also hit for a lot of big pass plays in the first half, running basically the same route. Those crossing routes were tearing up Rutgers. And the one time the tight end, who should probably be used more, Eric All, he's kind of sat down in the zone, caught like a 25-yard play. Well, they took that away in the second half, and Cade McNamara had to throw to the sidelines, and he was unable to do that. So Rutgers adjusted at halftime. Michigan failed to do so, but they were good enough defensively to survive.